Hello everyone, I'm just stopping by to let you all know that we have a brand new channel launched called What Culture Horror, which is the home of all things freaky, like lists, news, podcasts, all with a lovely horror tinge to them. It is pretty great, it's very spooky, so I'm, not doing some big it up or anything, but you should definitely check it out. It is pretty dang good. I'm gonna head back there right now. Hope you enjoy your list, hope you enjoy your video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
It's understandable that even obsessive horror fans have trouble keeping up with the constant stream of movies within the genre, since our cup does truly runneth over with all sorts of spooky releases. And that is compounded further by the movies that don't start out with glowing reviews too, dropped from sight as noisier marketing campaigns take front and centre of horror fans' attention. As a result, often a great film can end up falling through the cracks, and viewers miss out on a great slice of horror. But, as you can probably tell from the title, we're about to fix that problem up with 10 lovely picks lurking in the dark recesses of the genre. These are all horrors which deserve to be sought out both by hardened horror heads and anyone in search of an off-the-beaten-path source of scares. So, get ready for more ghosts, dream ghouls, cults, demons, eels, goblin fairies, neo-Nazis, and complex metaphors for genderless performance than any horror fan could get through in one marathon sitting. I am the overrated Ash from What Culture Horror, and these are 10 underrated recent horror movies you need to see. 10. We're Still Here. Released in 2015, We're Still Here was the first major film from future Mohawk director Ted Geoghegan, and the film served as a stylish calling card for the director. A tense, strange, chilling ghost story meets siege movie, the film follows a pair of grieving parents who move into a remote country house, only to encounter the unsettling presence of their dead son, or someone claiming to be his spirit, at least. Naturally, the pair invite over their friend, a medium, to contact this ghostly presence, and all hell quite literally breaks loose. Twisty and inventive, this effort takes a story of two older-than-average horror protagonists and sprinkles it with devilishly unexpected turns, which, along with a stellar performance from Scream Queen Barbara Crampton, elevates the potentially tired haunted house premise. 9. A Cure for Wellness. Ever wonder what Gore Verbinski has been up to recently? Well, yes, it is still A Cure for Wellness, but I'm here to tell you to give it a chance. It is 2.5 hours long and absolutely more style than substance, but that doesn't make it a bad movie by any stretch. The flick is a strange and trippy surreal mystery which sees Dane DeHaan's beleaguered corporate executive follow his boss to a remote retreat, only to get himself caught up in a bizarre and eventually outright gothic slice of genre insanity. A flop at the box office, this demented, mountaintop, psychedelic horror benefits from an unusually sharp-witted and stoic hero, an agreeably cheesy Jason Isaacs performance, and some stunning scenery as its knotty plot melds together elements of everything from Stonehurst Asylum and Shutter Island to Jennifer Egan's horror novel The Keep, before an almost Lovecraftian denouement. If all of that isn't enough to convince you to give this poor, mistreated movie a go, then I don't know what is. 8. Before I Wake. Released in 2015 to little acclaim and soon forgotten, Before I Wake is a surprisingly poignant fantasy horror which deserves to be rediscovered by fans of the genre. If poignant isn't a word you typically associate with successful entries into a genre better known for prompting some serious pant-crapping, it is worth noting that the film comes from the director responsible for Netflix's critically acclaimed Haunting of Hill House television adaptation, Mike Flanagan, which was another project that managed to marry serious scares with a touching story of family. One of many underrated early Flanagan movies, this film is a story of a troubled boy whose dreams and nightmares come to life at night. The film also introduced the world to the talents of Room star Jacob Tremblay, who carries the potentially cringeworthy premise with a stellar performance. And whilst you're here, check out Flanagan's Hush too, or literally any other of his movies that have been criminally overlooked and upsettingly underrated since his debut. The guy is a talented filmmaker and deserves all the horror love that you've got. 7. 1922. Another Stephen King adaptation featuring the Mist's very own Thomas Jane, 1922 is a darkly funny period piece delivered by Netflix. The film follows the fortunes, or lack thereof, of a small family in rural America during the Depression, and its mean-spirited morality tale vibe would have made it a standout installment of HBO's Tales from the Crypt decades ago. Instead, the benefit of a feature-length runtime allows this dark, simple story to breathe, building tension slowly and relying on a central trio of 3 superb performances from its stars. The real standout of this film, however, is the disturbing surreal imagery scattered throughout, with dreamlike moments and nightmarish touches resurfacing throughout its slender runtime. Ooh, that is what we like to hear when we're talking King adaptations, eh? 6. I Am Not a Serial Killer. For the first half of 2016's I Am Not a Serial Killer, you're likely to think you're watching a completely different film from the one that you are actually watching. It is a testament to the brilliant turns from stars Max Records and Christopher Lloyd that this dark drama's slow and disturbing opening act doesn't seem like a drearier reimagining of recent releases such as Super Dark Times or Summer of '84. Then comes the twist, and this intense psychological thriller reveals itself in full, rewarding patient viewers with a bevy of dark surprises. A fun and intriguing mix of psychological drama, sudden horror, and a whole lot of black humour. This one needs to be seen to be believed. Which is an easy way of saying I'm not telling you anymore, and it's best to go hunting this one out for yourself. 5. Intruders. Also known as Shut-In, but not to be confused with the other abominable Naomi Watts starring horror of the same name released the same year, this 2015 film has a killer horror twist which it takes its time in revealing. Not that the opening half's home invasion isn't terrifyingly tense in and of itself, mind you, but this one really begins to shine when its characters' true colours are revealed, and the already tense atmosphere is racketed up to unbearable levels by a few choice moments of shocking gore. Measured and judicious in its reveals, this twisty shocker is perfect for fans of mysterious psychological thrillers which aren't afraid of jackknifing into straight-up horror territory. 4. Green Room. Probably the most violent entry on this list, and easily the most disturbing, sorry intruders. Blue Ruin director Jeremy Saulnier's unbearably tense and uber-bleak Green Room was released to art house praise, but little mainstream recognition in 2015. It's another one that has been mentioned a lot by me in other lists, but here, I'm not going to stop it, so you might as well go and watch it. The simple and ingenious story of a punk band trapped in the titular Green Room as a pack of vicious neo-Nazis congregate outside to kill them, this unfortunately relevant movie combines the tense siege film with psychological horror elements, as the gang begin to splinter mentally from the trauma of their predicament. It may conclude with a barnstormingly brutal bit of catharsis, but despite its brief runtime, an unending string of real-world events can guarantee this one will stick with you for some time after its credits roll. 3. The Love Witch. Beautifully photographed and styled within an inch of its existence, Anna Biller's 2016 indie hit The Love Witch is filmed as a pitch-perfect recreation of grindhouse cheapo flicks from the 70s. But the film is no Tarantino-style pastiche. Instead, Biller's immersive, mesmerizing 70s period piece is an insightful and challenging slice of cult horror, wherein the generic trappings are used to provide cutting commentary on gender roles within the genre, film at large, and society itself. Following the Love Witch herself, we see this enchantress through a series of violent attempts at courtship, and this blackly comic throwback asks the world what it expects of men and women and how they're told to perform for one another in the guise of a stylish and unsettling slice of horror. If you want a movie that will make you sigh wistfully at its gorgeous styling, as much as have you reflect on socio-political norms, then this is it. Beauty and brains, baby. 2. The Hallow. Director Corin Hardy may not have won over many critics with his most recent film, the Conjuring Cinematic Universe spin-off The Nun, but there is a reason the filmmaker was trusted with a Hollywood horror so early on in his career. And that reason is the superb The Hallow, an Irish indie horror which benefits from a brilliant pair of central performances and some stunning rural scenery. This ambitious home invasion horror features terrifying, child-abducting goblin fairies ripped straight from Irish mythology in a simple but brutally effective story of a young couple besieged by the beasts, and forced to fight them off in order to save their newborn baby. It is grim, it is gruesome, and it is absolutely gripping, and delivers a whole host of incredible effects work to boot. Don't trespass, my guys, or you might get trespassed right back on. 1. Final Girl. Directed by fashion photographer Tyler Shields in the filmmaker's feature debut, Final Girl is a subversive sort of slasher which marked the director out as a name to follow. The plot follows a set of uber-rich wannabe Patrick Batemans as they plan to hunt down female high school classmates. But everything isn't as it seems when they single out the seemingly innocent Abigail Breslin as their next victim. Visually sumptuous and kinetically shot, this horror subverts the subgenre's cliches from its title to its killer ending, combining a clever script with typically great work from Breslin and a superb villainous turn from The Hunger Games' Alexander Ludwig, who's also great in the same year's bizarrely unrelated and also underrated The Final Girls. That's 2 recommendations for the price of 1 then, actually. And that's our list. What other underrated faves would you add to this list? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. I've been Ash over on social media at Ash Millman, and this has been What Culture. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and come back again soon for some more spine-tingling horror content. Thanks for watching.
Oh, what a lovely list and or other video format that was. I for one sure enjoyed that list and or other video format we just watched together, but hey, out with the old and in with the new because time has passed since then, and we're going to talk about What Culture Horror instead, which is our brand new channel we've just launched for all things spooky, scary, weird and wonderful. So if you like lists, we've got them. If you like news videos, we've got those. If you like podcasts, we've got those as well. So there's all sorts of treats for your list and or other video format needs you can check out on What Culture Horror. It's very good if I do say so myself. I like it a lot and I think you should check it out. In the meantime, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, sacrifice your firstborn child to the overalls of What Culture, and also check out What Culture Horror. Thanks for watching.